There he is.
We'll go again. It doesn't work on a desktop. There you go.
No. You right?
All good, thank you, mate. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, man. All good.
Yeah, we're
all
good. Yeah, desktop is a big no-no, so you know that for future reference.
I've got a drink this week.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the most important part.
What have we got there?
We got the Stay Puff.
Nice, man.
Standard. Yeah.
I've not come across it before.
It's all right. Marshmallow porter. Absolute dream. It's not quite Guinness, but yeah, it's the next best.
So how's things, bud?
Yeah, all good, thank you, mate. How about yourself?
Yeah, not bad. How's lockdown life treating you?
Lockdown's actually really, really busy. It's really odd because usually I'm coaching all the time, but now I'm glued inside my house. It's more of an approach of make some plans, let's build partnerships, connections, and just get ready for life again when we open back up. Whenever that will be.
Well, absolutely, man. That's the problem. Is no one quite knows, do they? That's the issue. Are you online coaching? Are you doing any sort of video lessons, that sort of stuff?
No, not for me. My personal opinion is they just don't quite work. I suppose it's linked to my coaching style. I'm very much, I need to be there, I need to see where the ball goes. Lots of guys do it really well online, which is great. I take my hat off to them. But unless you've kind of got those facilities at home, I think with big nets and big studios, it's hard work to try and fix someone's swing when they're swinging in the garden with a tennis ball. Absolutely. It doesn't quite work.
I'm completely of the same thought. I need to see the golf ball fly, and just working on positions in a golf swing via a video every now and again from someone's garden is really exactly sort of how I would like to put it that way. So talk to me a little bit about your history in golf then. When did you start playing? When did you get onto it? And then sort of lead that into what you do now.
We'll build on, So I started golf at a young age. I think I was taken there by my parents. I was about 7 years old. So from there, it was every weekend, junior sessions, junior clubs, played, and it kind of became my life. From there, I think that's all I ever did as a kid. Into my teenage years, I just played golf all the time. You gave up the other sports, your football, and you kind of focus on golf just because of the time. Obviously, I enjoyed it. There was obviously a bit of a skill there, which helped. I kind of pushed on up until I was about 16, 17 when I played, which is good. Unfortunately, kind of got to that age and I wasn't good enough to do what I wanted to do. I didn't have the brain between my kind of ears. I'm wired a little bit different to most golfers out there. So it just wasn't for me, obviously, there at that age. So I hung the clubs up for about 10 years and here I am. I'm back again.
Oh, wow. So in that 10 years, what were you doing in that 10 years?
Are we PG related here or
YouTube? So maybe I don't even know how the Brewdog, if I'm honest. I don't know how YouTube feels about people drinking on the
Yeah, that's it. It's a bit of advertisement in there already. No, don't worry, it wasn't that bad. So no, what did I do? I fell into the trap, unfortunately, of a 17, 18-year-old lad. You go out, you drink beers, you find women, and that was what I was more interested in the weekend rather than waking up at 6 a.m. for an early tea time. That wasn't what I wanted to do. So I went into a bit of sales and marketing kind of work. I then became a barber. So I'm still a qualified barber now, so I'm in that industry. And then I went and worked abroad for a few years. When I travelled, your party destinations, your Magaluf, your Ibizas. So I've experienced quite a bit, which is good. And everything that I've done there, I've kind of taken on board and put it back into the golf, I suppose.
Oh, awesome! It's funny, the amount of people that I've spoken to doing this, which these Instagram lives, I think you might be the fifth or sixth. And everyone I say, talk to me about your history in golf more often than not. And it's not just obviously the people I've spoken to here. It's people I sort of meet through the industry and that sort of stuff. And the amount of times you say to someone, oh, yeah, well, so, have you been playing from a young age? I say, yeah, I took a break around sort of 16, 17, 18 by drinking. Discovering women, all that sort of stuff. It's crazy, man, how that stays the same for sort of most of us, like going out socializing. It's so difficult to, I guess, how does that change? Like, what do you see that ever really changing for the most?
You have to make the choice, don't you? I think when you get to that kind of elite higher level, so I hate to talk to myself about that level and things. When you're playing county golf, you're playing for England, your country, you're at a good level. But to really kick on, you need to really jump, obviously, into things. I had a chat with one of my pals this morning who's a psychologist, and we were saying the difference between like a scratch golfer and a 2-handicapper golfer, if we put it in football terms, is someone like national non-league to your championship.
Yeah.
It's 2 shots, but the difference is massive. I think when you're at that age of, you want to go and have fun, you want to socialise, you want your mates, playing golf isn't really cool. Well, it never was, especially when I was there 10, 12 years ago. Yeah, I was the weird golfer, and
isn't it? I do think it's changing now gradually, but yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So yeah, you make the decision. I grew up with Georgia Hall. Obviously, I was lucky enough here in Dorset. We grew up together at a young age, and fair play to her. But she grinded every day. She put the hours in. She went to work. She went to golf. She was there Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, and she probably did miss out on quite a bit of the kind of fun element and a lifestyle. But look at her now. She's making millions on the telly, traveling the world.
Oh yeah.
And here I am stuck in Bournemouth in lockdown.
Yeah, my path was a little bit different. I played football for Stevenage Town up until the age of 17, 18, before sort of going on to do, I say maybe a little younger, before going on to do A-levels and that sort of stuff. So, I mean, I didn't really touch a golf club. I probably played once a year until I was 15, 16.
Mm-hmm.
And just started like the fact that golf was different to football, and I hate the fact that playing football I could have a man of the match performance, I could score a hat trick, and we could still lose, we could still go out of the cup. So I quite like the fact that golf was on me, and if I played bad, then I didn't shoot the score. If I played good, then I did shoot the score. But it's certainly interesting. Talk to me a little bit or your fashion side of things. How from a young age, sort of, have you always been into your clothing side of things with the game? Was it always something that you paid attention to even when you first started?
Yeah, I think obviously when I first started, I think I was dressed like any other junior golfer in your Pringle diamond jumpers, in your big baggy hand-me-down trousers, obviously looking horrendous. So yeah, that was always the way back in the day. But no, I unfortunately broke out into the stupid trouser kind of era. And that was always my go-to, was what am I going to wear next? What am I playing around with? That was the kind of big in-style thing for me. I mean, it led to, obviously, from kind of Ian Poulter, his kind of peak when he rocked out in the mental trousers, which was to me, because it was just the excitement. I like to kind of be different. I always have done. I kind of class myself as Marmite. You do either love me or hate me, and I quite like that. So there, I didn't really want to just plod around the middle grounds. It's kind of in your face, a bit of this. I don't really care. It's just how I am, which is cool. So it's the same as the golfing side. I got into that. I loved Jay Lindeberg as a youngster. That was like the peak for me, but I just couldn't ever afford it. You're looking at £80, £90 for a top, and it just wasn't possible. I'm a normal kid here in Bournemouth. We're not seeing a wealthy family, and £90 for a top just wasn't ever going to happen.
No. I mean, for me, I was when I sort of put that question down on the pad, and I thought, history of fashion for me. I remember being a junior, and obviously, as I'm sure is probably the case with you, Tiger Woods was my idol. Tiger Woods was, the reason I turned up to the junior competitions. I mean, he's sort of the reason why I do what I do now. For a big part, most likely. And so, an early memory for me of sort of my fashion side of things. I had an XL Tiger Woods red Nike polo, and you had to have the Tiger Woods red.
Yeah.
A pair of trousers, and then I had one of the sleeveless V-neck Nike knitwear pieces that was a small. So the top underneath was an XL, and then the top over the top was a small. So the amount of excess material out of the arms was insane. But I remember really wanting a pair of black shoes because he wore black shoes, but I only had white shoes, and this was at a time where you didn't turn around to your mum and dad and go, can I have another pair of golf? You've got a pair ready? No, but I need a black pair for this outfit. And they'd be like, no.
It's the dream, though, isn't it?
Yeah. What's it? Some of the do you have an early memory of a bit of clobber that you liked? I mean, you talk trousers. I had an apple green pair of Nike. That's not probably the same colour as this light. Actually.
Amazing. That's brilliant. It was the Union Jack trousers. Me, 100%. I did. Yeah, I managed to get some custom made. I remember my mum used to take me into kind of the curtain shop, and we used to choose fabrics. See there, and we managed to send them off to somebody to get made. They went over to China as well. I got family over there, and they managed to bring a few pairs of mental ones back. So I was quite lucky in that behalf.
So would you say that sort of, the sort of the Larry pairs, that sort of stuff, do you reckon that's fed into, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here on the Shaw clothing, but you say that sort of influences a little bit of the design for the line?
100%, yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple of reasons why Shaw Golf kind of was created, but number one was my background of the bright trousers. I kind of see sticking out there. Obviously trying not to go as mental now. I think the trousers are going a little bit more tame in the kind of industry. They're still there. Obviously Loudmouth are pretty good with John Daly. Yeah. He's still pushing them out there, which is cool. But no, the ideas definitely come from my background. Obviously with wearing kind of what you want, a bit more relaxed, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. So talk to me about how the sort of how and why the brand came about, and just everything to do with the brand, really.
Yeah, it's a new brand. I mean, we officially launched at the end of September, so really it's only been going 4 or 5 months. So really random place to launch. Obviously, we've had 2 lockdowns. We've had wind, rain, winter, no golf. So it's been not the ideal performance for us. Obviously, there with it, obviously no golf, I suppose. No one's actually worn their tops out on the golf course yet. Obviously, being a so-called summer polo brand. So the idea came from the first lockdown. Actually, when I set up my coaching, I wanted to branch off into clothing and try and push the image of be unique, kind of be yourself doing golf, and that's where it's come from. My friend Darren, he owns Buried Elephant Clothing, which make mental t-shirts.
Right.
There, and I've always worn them when I've played, and I kind of had a few ideas of my own. And I got chatting to him, and he was like, "Well, just go for it, play around with it." So that happened. They got my brother on board. So me and him run Shaw Golf together. So it's brought us closer together, which is amazing. Kind of family project. And then, we're just kind of pushing it from there.
How do you sort of, when you're looking at starting up, sort of what was it like trying to get like a logo sorted and a name, and then obviously getting the stuff in hand, like choosing fabrics, that sort of stuff. How did that all come about?
It's a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Yeah, I mean, I get a lot of people asking me kind of for helping hands, which is really nice, actually, because, Christ, again, I'm just a normal kid from Bournemouth. I've got no real background in anything, but they kind of come to me and ask, which is cool. Christ, we had to send off to suppliers from Pakistan, China, different materials. We have box fulls of absolute crap that have been made. Which is hilarious. Obviously, really, some of the stuff that we've got back is just not, we can't even give it away. Obviously, it's that bad.
Because this is the side of things that a lot of people don't really see, isn't it? They, you see the website or the Instagram page, and you see the really nice modelled photos of the gear, and it all looks great. And then you might place an order, you get it through, you think, quality like really good. You don't see the behind the scenes of how many samples would have gone off and come back and gone off and come back. And, the amount of money that it must cost to just get the samples and all that sort of stuff done before you're finally happy to then go ahead and put it out to people.
Yeah, there's so much behind the scenes. And, for the guys that want to do it, I'll always say go and do it 100%. The best thing I ever did was take the gamble and put my ideas on paper. But you absolutely nailed it. There is so much more behind the scenes. Even building the website, it took me and my brother a full day. We were there for 14, 15 hours just to build the website. Mm-hmm. And just because we had no clue what we were doing, was there. And it's even the small bits like that, finding the right material, the right patterns, the right provider. As I say, these guys over abroad, when you get your gear, you send money to them as a bank transfer a lot of the time. There's no protection or safety kind of with it at times. And you're thinking, we're sending all this money, we don't know what we're getting. It is quite funny.
Geez, that sounds beyond stressful.
It's good fun though, obviously there.
How did the logo come about?
So the logo is a swan. Obviously there. It came from Camford Magna Golf Club. Actually, was a golf club down here in Bournemouth where me and my brother grew up. I used to work there when I was younger. Unfortunately, the golf club closed down. So that was our memories from childhood. That's where I started my golf career. I can't thank everyone that worked there, was part of it enough for getting me to where I am now. Obviously, that's the big one. So it's all linked from there. Their logo was a swan. So it was just trying to push that together, and it joined together with me and my brother, obviously linking up. And obviously Shaw Golf is quite the obvious and how the name came about. Obviously with the surname, it was quite simple, really.
Nice. What sort of plans looking like for 2021? I know obviously, this first part of the year is up in the air. When are we playing? When are we not playing? Who can say? But let's say, assuming we get back to golf March time, do you have how do you plan out your year? Do you sort of go, right, well, I want to do a drop here, I want to do a drop there, or do you want to drip feed it throughout the year? Sort of, what's the year look like for you?
Yeah, so to be honest with you, when we launched it was a bit of a let's just do it, let's roll with it, let's chuck ideas out. For me, it was just branding at the beginning. It's get out there as much as you can, and hopefully that's working. The kind of idea for us, we're planning kind of April, I think, when golf's back. I think realistically from my coaching side, that's when I'm pinpointing it as well. So we've got all our new gear. It's actually just arrived. We've got 15 new polos that have just dropped for Shaw Golf. So we've got quite a bit of a collection now. We've just finalised waterproofs, jumpers. We've got some more hoodies, also trousers all coming for the men. So that's going to be slowly introduced month by month, which is cool. So yeah, we're currently in the plan now of deciding what's going to be released when, depending on, again, when golf's back, weather, events and all that.
Yeah.
But the big one for me is ladies. That's the one that I'm really wanting to push. I've had a few chats with quite a few ladies out there at the moment who play golf, different samples, different trials. So that seems to be, actually, it's kind of finalised today that seems to be good to go.
Awesome.
Which is really exciting for that. So yeah, there'll be hopefully 6 or 7 ladies polos coming, hoodies and jumpers. And again, I'm hoping to get that pushed through for April so we can really kick the season off.
Awesome. How does sort of sampling ladies gear, trying to get hold of ladies gear, get that manufactured, does that differ at all to men's stuff, or is it, how does that sort of work?
Yeah, it's massively different. Believe it or not, I'm not a woman, so it's hard to see what fits and the styles.
Anything?
Hey, don't worry. I've got my long hair at the moment. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, massively different. Obviously, patterns for ladies is different. I know they're quite funny about the stripes, where the pattern is, which is acceptable. Mm-hmm. Same as the men, so that's obviously got to be different. The fit is completely different. The joys is with all the samples. Me and my brother are the same size. I'm a golfer. We know what fits and we know what doesn't fit.
Yeah. So
instantly we get samples in, we can try them on and go yes or no. The ladies, I had them, they arrived here and I looked at them and thought, well, I've got no clue. So luckily I've got a few people that have helped me out kind of with sizings, a few friends of mine that have given me some really good feedback. So we've got some exciting plans for that kind of happening in the next couple of weeks, really.
Yeah, I think that's got to be really important, isn't it? To be able to have people who are going to give you that honest feedback and not necessarily just sort of what you want to hear, but yeah, this fits good, this doesn't fit good, etc., etc. It needs to be it needs to be spot on, doesn't it?
No, 100%. It's been the same with the men's. So me and my brother can get wrapped away, kind of carried away, going, oh, this is great, that's great. But when you take the step back, you go, well, it's actually not great. This needs to change, that needs to change. And we've had a few disasters in the past. I'll be honest, we've had a couple of designs that we kind of look at now and think we probably shouldn't have done that.
Right.
But at the same time, it's, you kind of learn from mistakes. You kind of look at it and think about it a little bit more in the future.
What drove the direction towards women's gear?
For me, I want to push women's golf, and it's hard coming from someone like myself because I am a nightmare, obviously, anyway. But obviously, I am a man in the golfing industry, and it always comes across in the wrong way. Group chats take the piss out of me all the time because another girl has a Shaw hat on, which is great. It's great friendships that I've got with them, but obviously, from the same time, you totally get it from your mate's point of view. So it's hard to break into that. I love the fact ladies golf's on telly now. I love the fact that more women are getting into it, not just because of Instagram. The actual girls that want to go and compete and go and do well. It's tough for them because they do play at the highest level, but they don't get paid anywhere near as much as men. They don't get the advertisement. They don't even get the sponsorships, and they don't get caddies.
They don't even get the gear. You have to. I don't know if I listened to the No Lane Up podcast, and I was listening to one in the car the other day, and it was they were talking about, I think it was, if you're outside of the top 100 in the world or 150 in the world for ladies gear, you have to pay for you pay for your clubs. It's like you don't pay full recommended retail price for your clubs, but you pay whatever the trade price is of a set of irons or a driver, whatever it might be. I find that just disgusting.
It's madness, isn't it? It's absolute madness.
Like sometimes as a PGA pro, I will get lucky enough where I don't pay for a new driver. And I'm like, I'm not paying for it. But then, like, there's a lady who's flipping out there, her career and, you know, her earnings and everything is out there on the line each week. She has to pay for her driver. It's insane.
It's absolutely mental, isn't it? I remember watching the Abu Dhabi kind of event. It was probably a few months back now. None of them had caddies. They're all carrying their own bag. They're playing in one of the biggest events of their year, massive prize pot, and they have to carry their own bag. It's madness.
It's so wrong. But yeah, man, that's great that you sort of really pushing the ladies' side of things. How do you see the ladies' side moving forward? Is it, you know, do you see a take up in the next in the next sort of 5 years or so? I teach a lot of kids, so the bulk of my my sort of earnings as a golf coach is through kids coaching, and so trying to have a kids academy in which, looking at the sort of the girls side of things, I get a few girls who come in and do it, but trying to keep their participation up is so difficult without more girls around them. But do you think that's going to change?
I think it is. I think from the younger age, I think you're right. Obviously, I ran the kids academy, but it's similar to yourself there, and it's nowhere near as busy as popular as what it used to be. So there, I remember when I was at my junior academy learning, there was hundreds of us, 200-300 kids every weekend. And now you're lucky to kind of get double figures in your class, which is a shame. I think kids have got more options now with sport, unfortunately, they're all glued at home on their Xboxes and PlayStations rather than getting out there, which is hard. It's also costly as well. Golf still isn't a cheap venue to go down. So that's always hard. But I think there's a lot more, I see men and females, young, kind of late teenagers, early 20s that are getting into the game. So now it's becoming a little bit more of a cool thing to do, which is nice. And golf is changing for the better, the fashion element to it, the actual game, the different options that you can go down. So I think it will get there. More people to do it, more people like yourself, and I see different golfers out there that are pushing to see it in the right direction. It will change. So it's going to take time because it's still not acceptable at some clubs with different rules and regulations. But no, I think the more people do it, the better it will be.
Definitely. So talk to me about a couple of sort of your Instagram pages that you gravitate towards. Who you're a fan of at the moment? Yeah, so
obviously there's your big boys out there that a lot of people obviously follow, which is obviously great that they're massive. I do like the smaller guys out there. The guys at Far From Par have been absolutely brilliant. So they've kind of taken me in and we chat quite a bit. So they got the big golf tour kind of going on as well. So at the end of the year, September, the Ryder Cup. So that's put me in touch with a lot of really, really cool guys. So there and get to know them. The big guy for me is Tubes. I've been a massive fan of him from Soccer AM. His golf page is brilliant. His videos are fantastic at the moment. Just him at the park, just kind of hitting crossbar challenges and things like that. And that's making golf fun. What we can do. But obviously, I've got a few friends out there. I mean, the Golf Hipster's been awesome. He's really wicked. I think you had him on a couple of days ago. Most down to earth guy ever, chilled out, relaxed, pushing golf in the right way. Lauren at Guilty of Golf has been brilliant. She's actually been helping out quite a bit with the short clothing so she follows that same trend. There.
I don't know if she's in or not. I know that she said that she was going to be tuning in, but trying to get her on for some point next week. So which would be really, really cool.
Yeah, get her in. She's massive. Into fashion and she's good background in that as well. So no, she knows her stuff, which is really cool. And again, she's a good role model for the women kind of out there wanting to get into the industry.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the thing. The more that we can have, the more girls that we can get involved in the sport, the better. And certainly ones that have, an interest in the fashion side of things as well. I think that helps drive things forward. I think it's all well and good having a girl who wants to play, who is happy to just wear whatever the ladies section are wearing, but someone who wants to play the sport and then take it on as well and try and advance things, I think is really, really good.
Yeah, massively. That's what you need in the industry. You need people to push the boundaries, to push the limits. You need people to get in trouble. So very similar like I did as a young age. I think you need to have that. Look at Hatton with the hoodies and things. It seems to be the normal thing. remember being told off at my golf club the week before he won the event because I had a hoodie on, and now it's absolutely acceptable to where it's just absolutely bonkers, the world that we live in on the golf course. But you need people like that to push it.
Absolutely. How do you split your time? So obviously, Shaw must take up a lot of your time. Your coaching obviously must take up a lot of your time. You know, how do you juggle it all?
I wish there was more hours in the day, I'll be honest. I seem to have a bit of a structure. I mean, I'm still working at the barbers as well, so it's trying to fit all that in at the same time is absolute chaos in my life. My life is like a whirlwind, and people are a nightmare. But I've got the structure, I've got the time there. The good thing is, Shore Golf can run itself once it's kind of back to normal, because at the end of the day, we get the products out there. We make sure that we're kind of on top of it, and that's cool. So they're the coaching side. Obviously, I've got my set hours for that, so that's good. Okay. For me, it's just getting back into playing now. I think now I'm back in the golfing industry. I want to get back out there, play some tour events, and just kind of put my name out that I'm not just a range golfer that sits there all day. I can play, believe it or not. I'm a bit rusty, but it'll be nice to get back out there.
What was your handicap when you turned pro?
Well, it's quite a weird one. I played off +2 when I was 16, so that was probably when I was at my peak. I'll be honest with you, it went downhill from there. Okay. I actually didn't have an official live handicap until when I got back to playing, because I gave up when I was 17, 18. It wasn't actually active, so I haven't been a member of anywhere since. So luckily, I got back into a club and they gave me a handicap of scratch, and I just turned pro straight away. So again, haven't had cards in my hand for a long time. So I do feel sorry for the guys that battle out there every Saturday in their medal trying to get the handicap up, obviously down.
Yeah. Did you play many PGA events, that sort of stuff?
No, not at all. So I'm not PGA Pro. Obviously, I took a bit of a different route into the industry. I did the European Golf Teaching Federation, which is not I suppose not the way you should go in the golfing industry. It's obviously frowned upon at the time. But no, I went that route. The luck is I worked at the golf club for a long, long time. I did all the kids coaching, all the coaching anyway. So I had the experience. I've looked at all the PGA work. I just didn't want to go down the 3-year route, obviously on that. So I kind of did a fast track way into it. And luckily with the knowledge, it kind of worked out. And I had the opportunity to go and work at the golf club that I'm at now, and just kind of jumped in it from there, really.
So you've been there for how long?
So I actually only set up the coaching business back in May. So it was actually, again, just after the lockdown. So it's all pretty new to me again, kind of getting into it. So it's fresh. It's kind of pushing it out there. So I'm still very new, got lots to learn, lots to kind of go, which is cool. This is the kind of, I suppose, the full year. If lockdown eventually ends, we can get back out there and really go for it.
That's a really obviously different way of getting into it, isn't it? I mean, for me, the way of becoming a golf pro is, you finish off at school, whatever, you go on to do your PGA, you do that for 3 years. It costs you an arm and a leg to do so nowadays, and then it's like, all right, and then you start off with your career and your journey, and you specialise in whatever you want to specialise, or just teach everyone. But yeah, it's a very different way of getting into it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, unfortunately, I was never a huge lover of the PGA cost factor. So I'll be honest about that. It's pretty expensive. You also need to be in a shop for 3 years, which I'm not young anymore. So I didn't have the option to go and not earn any money for that kind of period. As you said, the right thing is finish school, go into the shop, earn your money, go and teach and get into that way. Obviously, I don't have access to all the PGA events, which is a massive issue, a massive problem, because I can't go and play in those, which is bad. But the Clutch Tour have been brilliant. They've been absolutely fantastic. Got a full season this year with them, a couple of TP Tour events. So they're obviously growing massively and open up the doors to, again, both male and females in the industry, which is great.
Yeah, awesome. So product-wise, obviously, as you mentioned, you've got polos, trousers, hoodies, that sort of stuff. What have you got? What have you got coming this year? Sort of, have you got? Trying to think of the best way to put this. Do you sort of just stick to, right, I like this design of polo, or this type of polo, whether it be like a collar, blade collar, whatever it is, and let's do loads of sort of designs off the back of that? Or is it, I want to match in with this and that, I want that product to have that design, etc., etc. How does that, how have you got that sorted for this year?
Yeah, so it's one of those, obviously everything changes, doesn't it, in the fashion kind of world. Colour schemes come out, and obviously the tracksuit bottom trousers are, I think, going to be the big one for this year on the golfing tour. All of our polos are blade collars. So there. I think it's different. It's still, see, companies aren't really taking full advantage of it. Obviously, Tiger Woods and the Nike polos do.
Yeah.
That's our style, so that's what we're sticking with. Obviously, at the moment, I think it's fresh, it's young. Sometimes you go away with these massive collars, and you're resorting back to old school again. Kind of with it, I think one day we won't have to wear collars on the golf course, and I think it'll be the best thing kind of for it. I don't know why we have to, if you want me to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is an open space, man. You can say whatever.
Oh, that's it. The internet's a dodgy place, though, isn't it, when you say it out loud? Kind of plan-wise for us is to stick doing what we're doing. We are a different golf brand. We're not everyone's cup of tea. So there's some guys like the plain kind of options. We're not. We're bright. We're pretty loud. We're pretty funky. I think a lot of our stuff this year is going a lot more funky, a lot brighter, a lot more full kind of a madness. So that will obviously slowly be released without giving too much away.
No.
But then, just see where we grow as well. We've got ideas of different kind of avenues we want to go down to. It just depends if it works or not, and obviously the feedback we get.
Absolutely. Where do you sort of? I know I've kind of asked this already in a way, but inspiration wise, sort of for you for design and stuff, where does that come from? Is it? Where's it come from?
I'll be honest with you. I think it just comes from me and my brother. So there, we look at things that we like and we go for it. We're trying not to follow the crowd. Again, we talk about there will be a specific color scheme that's popular, and yes, obviously as a brand you need to follow that. But at the same time, we don't want to get into that kind of habit of doing what everyone else is doing. We want to be the brand that's just completely different, completely strange. Go and do it your way and see what happens there. So, we don't kind of look at different companies and go, they're going to release this, we'll do something similar. If we like an idea, we'll run with it and really give it a go from there.
Awesome. And the sort of the message behind the brand, what if I was to say, look, sum up the brand in say a handful of words or a couple of sentences, whatever you like. What's sort of the message behind the brand? What's the ethos?
Yeah, I mean, our tagline is doing things differently. Obviously, that's the big one, and it's just be yourself, be unique, and that's always the drive that I want to push. Obviously, with my coaching, I'm quite lucky that. So my coaching as the tattoo golf coach and Shore Golf all links together and then kind of bounce off each other and trying to fit that mold of just go and do it your way. There isn't a one-way fits all. There's not a one-way dress code. It's, there's different ways to do this. And obviously Bryson's the big one at the moment, not from a fashion element, but from a golf swing element of just doing it his way. He doesn't care. And it's getting the kind of cameras following him, even in the Masters. He was awful. He almost came last. He almost missed the cut, but every day, the cameras were on him. He was in the news. He was in the paper, and it just proves that you don't necessarily need to win to catch people's eye. Yeah. And I think in golf, we all go through that, and we don't win all the time, but you can still be a good golfer, earn some good money, and you don't necessarily have to win. And it's trying to get that into your head. Obviously, we're sportsmen. That's what we want to do. But at the same time, go and enjoy it. Get yourself out there.
Definitely. I mean, I think, from talking to you now and, learning your pathway of how you got to where you are now, and it sounds like you've not done it the conventional way, at a lot of points on your route to where you are here. And so obviously having that, bringing that into your brand from a fashion side of things as well, I think that only really sort of the recipe makes for good things for the brand to really represent you. It needs to be a lot about what you are as a person, your journey to this point. Yeah, I think that's really, really cool.
No, 100%. No, you nailed it. Yeah, I want them to work with each other. It is still my brand. It's trying to push it into following that trend. Being different, be yourself, be unique. I'm trying a lot of things this year. For my golf, it's going to be very different. So working with the sports psychologist, had a chat with him this morning, and it isn't following the direct route of what you're meant to do. I remember years ago playing at high level, you're up at stupid o'clock in the morning, you're having your proper breakfast, you're 3 hours coaching before you're chipping your putt in, and that never worked for me. So again, even from the golfing side, there's a few different things out there we're going to be trying that's going to be completely odd and really shake up the game. It might work, it might not, but that's the same thing as the clothing. That's what I want to do. Try it, see if it works. If it does work, then you're going to obviously get the benefits from it really quickly.
Absolutely. So, dude, I really appreciate you taking the time this evening. I do want to before I thank you for coming on and thank you everyone for listening. If you could, I know there's going to be there might be a couple of people watching us now who might want to start thinking about maybe starting a brand, starting maybe a clothing brand, that sort of thing, based around golf. What if there was a couple of pieces of advice that you would give to them? What would that be?
The best advice I can do is just do it. Just go for it. You want to think about these things, get your design in, get some samples in, and then go from there. It's the best thing obviously you need to do. Sometimes you can overthink it, you can overplan it, you can really kind of get yourself down the line of going, I'm going to do this, going to do that. But it changes. Our clothing that we've got now is not the first designs we were going to go for. The whole brand has changed after receiving our first samples. So all of a sudden, planning ahead for this big brand that you're going to go with, we changed our mind instantly from the get-go. So I think you just run with it. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I think definitely for me, the best advice I'd give to anyone for anything is just show up. Just turn up. I'll do it tomorrow or I'll do it the next day. Just do it. Be consistent and just because you never know what could happen. This is the thing with me starting my channel and starting my Instagram page and this stuff. It's just one day it was like I've just got to start it. I've just got to do it. And when you start it, you don't know what could happen off the back of it. So yeah. Well, Harry, I really appreciate you coming on. Best of luck for the year. I'm sure I'll be looking forward to seeing a lot of the designs and a lot of the styles and that sort of stuff. And so yeah, man, thank you very much.
No, absolutely, absolute pleasure. Thanks a lot for having me. I'll see you there. Anyone fire questions over, it's fine. It's been really good.
Absolutely. So obviously this is going to go up onto my profile page. So yeah, if you do have any questions at all, then drop them over or shout you a DM. I'm sure that'll be slide in those DMs.
Slide in those DMs. That's the one.
Absolutely. But yeah, this will go up onto my profile for about a week or so, and then I'll get it up onto YouTube as well. So if you have missed it, anyone tuning in now, then yeah, you'll be able to find it some various places over the next coming weeks. And once it's up on YouTube, it's there for good. So yeah. So Harry, I really appreciate you coming on. It's really cool to hear your story, hear about the brand, and yeah, man, I look forward to seeing the gear for the rest of the year. Well, hopefully we'll be able to get wearing it at some point soon.
No, absolutely. I'm sure we will.
Lovely.
Absolute pleasure, mate.
Everyone watching, thank you very much, and I'll catch up with you very soon. Thursday, I've got Tee Up Kicks with Chris coming on for a chat. That's going to be a heavy Jordan chat on Thursday, I think. So I look forward to that. And once again, Harry, dude, thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure, mate. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, bud. Bye bye.